I remember so vividly my parents telling me, "You're a boy," or hearing children say that that's a girl's thing, boys can't do that. I remember asking why. I never received a response more than that it is what it is. I grew up with people telling me that I could not do this or that because I have male genitalia. For a long time, I did not allow myself to understand the part of me that is feminine. I thought there was something wrong with me. It took me a long time to understand who I am. It took me a long time to be happy with who I am. I grew up with a lack of knowledge of people who are like me when it comes to gender or sexuality. My family has not always been the most accepting people, and this did cause a lack of discussion about minority groups, not just the LGBTQ+ community. I didn't understand a lot about myself. It wasn't until I was just starting high school when I understood that I was not heterosexual. I came out in the spring of 2016 as gay to my parents with a conversation that started with, "Can we talk?" I had fears that I would have to run away and find a new place to live, or that I would not be accepted. I am lucky to say that they learned to accept me for being gay. My first year of high school, which for me was 9th grade, I met someone very important to me. They were the first person I met who is non-binary and opened the door for understanding myself. At first I was confused. A person who was not a boy or a girl but identified as neither. Over a short amount of time, I came to understand this person, to empathize with them. It's because of them I was able to figure out who I was in terms of gender. It's because of that person I now am comfortable in my own skin. However, this led to a second coming out, one that I was even more scared about than coming out as gay. I stated earlier that my parents weren't always the most accepting types, so I started fearing how it would turn out once again. I feared if I had to run away, or that I was kicked out, or that I would be abused in some facet. I am lucky to say I did not experience any of those things. What I experienced was a learning curve with my parents, a period of time filled with discussions. It is so often that a person is kicked out of their house for being gay or not cisgendered, someone who identifies with the gender assigned to them at birth, that they ran away and or faced abuse in their homes. A study was done by the Williams Institute, and they found that 40% of 1.6 million youths who are homeless identify as part of the LGBTQ+ community. The study also found that, quote, 46% of homeless LGBT youths ran away because of family rejection of their sexual orientation or gender identity. 43% were forced out by parents, and 32% faced physical, emotional, or sexual abuse at home, end quote. I bring this up for one reason, to get people to ask why. Why do these children experience so much pain at home? Why is domestic abuse so common in the LGBTQ+ community? People generally believe that hurting children is an awful thing to do. So why has there been some sort of exception for the LGBTQ+ child abuse? The discussion needs to start to help rid homes of these fears. I have faced these fears. I thought I would be kicked out. I thought I would have to run away. But why did I have to fear that? We fear the things that others have experienced. Part of the reason why we fear these situations is religious upbringing. We fear the man on the stage at the church who has said something bad about homosexuals. We fear the thoughts that that man put into our parents' head, and we fear that we will be thrown into a conversion camp to be changed when we finally just accepted who we are. At some point, Christianity decided not to carry the Jewish tradition of valuing debate and discussion that is in the Talmud, a Jewish religious text. The Talmud is not a set of books in the Jewish religions, but a conversation that is studied, and much of the Jewish texts are debated and discussed. So why did Christianity, a religion that formed from Judaism, stop this tradition of discussing and debating the scriptures and their validity? Why is it no longer acceptable to challenge the words someone wrote thousands of years ago? At some point, the door of discussions was closed. It is time we opened that door back up. The lack of discussion or exposure of minority groups is a major cause of discrimination and ignorance. Without the dialogue of minority and majority groups, how would the majority know what is happening to the minority? How will children know who they are when there is no representation for them to see themselves in? If I was exposed to gay people growing up, I would have known a piece of myself much sooner than I did. Sexuality and gender do not make the whole of a person. But is it not easier to understand a puzzle when you have all the pieces? People often think children will not understand things like how gay people are or gender non-conforming individuals. But how do they know this when they've never tried? I ask for parents to open up the conversation with their children. When they ask about a gay couple on TV, explain it to them. Don't rush to turn the TV off. Don't denounce it as weird or odd. Let your children ask why and be honest with them. Help children find the answers they seek for their questions. As your children grow and start shaping their own beliefs, ask them why and let them do the same to you. Help prepare yourself for the day your child walks up to you and asks, "Can we talk?"